What's poppin', gamers? And welcome back to another 3 Ways to Build, the series where we take a Minecraft idea or concept and build it 3 different ways. Today we're going to be taking a look at vaults. For some reason, everyone really likes vaults in Minecraft. Might be because of a certain somebody, and I don't blame them. That concept is really cool and you can create some really tough-looking, impenetrable structures. So let's go right ahead and jump into the build. If you're new to this series, here's how the video is going to work. We take a Minecraft building idea or concept and build it 3 different ways: basic, insane, and balanced. The basic version is quite simple to make in survival and generally, does what it's supposed to do, but will often be very lacking in some form or another, maybe in texture or in color. Then for the insane build, we're going to go completely in the other direction and make something that is huge, ridiculous, just totally off the wall and insanely complicated. And it's gonna look really cool. And that's great and all, but we both know that something of this large scale and requiring this many exotic materials is usually not realistic for regular survival Minecraft. So naturally, the next thing to do would be to combine the 2 ideas and make something that's a little bit more smaller and toned down than the insane build, but doesn't look nearly as lame or stupid or rushed as the basic build. And that, of course, is our 3rd and final build, the balanced one. So with all of that chit chat out of the way, here is our basic vault. Yeah, it's a shoebox, I know, but that's the point of the basic build. If we just go ahead and break our way in here, you can see that it's very small. There isn't really much of a shape to it. One thing you'll notice about this vault is that it really only looks tough because we're using blocks that are known to be quote-unquote tough within the realm of Minecraft, like obsidian, iron doors. These all give off, very solid, very sturdy vibes, in particular the obsidian, because as we know, it is an extremely hard block. But the thing about the obsidian is that its perception of being tough and sturdy really just comes from how it's used in game and doesn't really have any bearing on reality. And of course, I have other complaints about this thing. As I said before, it's pretty small, it's pretty lame, it's not very interesting to look at. But my main concern for this video is, as I just said, the use of the obsidian. Now, what if we took this general concept of a vault and dragged it completely in the opposite direction to make something that looks a lot more grounded in reality? Let's go check it out. Oh man, this definitely is an insane build. I love this thing so much. Let's start from the top. So of course we were just talking about how the obsidian is not realistic and stuff, and it only really has the perception of toughness because that's how it works in game. So I wanted to make sure that I used a lot of real life principles and architectural stuff, I guess you could call it. And yes, I know I'm using netherite blocks. I'm actually using a lot of netherite blocks all throughout the build. But that's really just because they look cool and they have this great texture that goes very well with the deep slate and everything. Anyways, getting into the build, right? I wanted to make this kind of, look a lot like a regular vault. I was kind of deciding if I wanted to go for the realistic approach or go for something more like Fallout inspired, and I eventually went with a realistic option. You can see that this looks very much like a bank vault, or maybe even like a scaled up version of a tiny safe you would find in your house. And looking at the sides up here, I've got a lot of reinforced sections and just, thick things along the edge of this vault door. For this, I drew a lot of inspiration from, if you've seen hard shell cases for military equipment, or even, sensitive audio video equipment, for example. They often have these kind of nubs all around the corners. So, a little bit of real life inspiration there. I don't quite know the physics behind it, but that's totally fine. Of course, it's all very, very scaled up from real life, but that's the point of the insane build. We want to make something ridiculous with no regard for practicality. Going inside one layer, you can see we have the back of the vault door, and we have this crazy, ultra modern, almost futuristic looking interior where it's all circular. It's like you're inside a giant steel drum of some kind or some weird spaceship that's rotating. And we've got an inner door in here. You can see I've got this funky little quartz design. And for this one, you know, I kind of mucked around with the styles for quite a while. I really wanted to get something that I felt looked clean and crisp and ultra modern and sleek. And of course, I eventually settled on end rods because you can't go wrong with end rods, really. I've got a little bit of sea lantern action going on here too, where you want a full light block instead of just a rod. But in general, I really, really love this design. This thing is so cool looking. It feels so sterile and cold and everything. And you know, normally that's not the best feeling to have, but when you're talking about an ultra secure, huge vault, it's really, really cool. I love this thing, man. And coming on in here, we have the final chamber, which is the same design all around. And of course, we've got our diamond pile. And last but not least, we've got this really cool design in the back. When I was making this entire build, you know, I was really just building on the fly. And that's why you saw me, you know, making a decent amount of mistakes in the time lapse, like this inner door right here. I really struggled to get the shape right for a little while, but I think it's really nice to show my mistakes. You know, I didn't use any pre-planned things for this. It was all just off the fly. I wanted to have some kind of crossbeam here. Drawing from real life architecture once again, crossbeams make things feel very sturdy. Same thing with these like reinforced sections all around our vault door here, but mainly the crossbeams at the back of the vault are going to make this feel very, very secure. This was originally a flat stone wall, and I think this is a huge improvement. So yeah, that is my insane vault door. I love this thing so much. But of course, being the insane build, this is not at all practical to build in survival Minecraft. But what if it was? I think that would be pretty cool. Let's see what I can come up with. Alright, I've finished the realistic build. It's not that one, don't worry. And here we are. I think it does a very good job of still looking very well fortified and sturdy and tough without just going totally insane with the scale. Cause let's be honest, right? Like that insane build was cool, but in some ways it was kind of even less realistic, right? Like you don't see just 40-meter tall vaults hanging around in people's backyards very often. Now, of course, you don't see vaults like this hanging out in people's backyards either, but yeah, it's fine. I'm sure there's some crazy person out there with a vault like this. That person is definitely not me. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I wanted to make this look pretty modular, and we've got kind of these 8 sections all across the outer shell here. And of course, one of them has our vault door that you would be like, you know, spinning to actually get in. Making our way to the other side of the thick vault door, we can turn around and here we go. I wanted to keep the same general color scheme as the insane vault, right? So black and white with a little bit of gray accents every now and again. And you can see we've split up the floor into 4 different segments. Of course, I'm using more quartz and less iron blocks to make it a bit more survival friendly. Oh, and of course, we're not counting the diamond blocks. When I'm calling this thing survival friendly, obviously you can fill that with whatever you want. You know, this is a giant walk-in vault, which you don't really see very often in real life, minus maybe, you know, giant banks or whatever. So yeah, it's looking pretty neat in here. You know, this one is empty. I thought it would be cool to just have an empty one. This one's full of gold, this one's full of diamonds, and this one is full of, well, something. Anyways, guys, that is my balanced interpretation of a vault done in Minecraft. Now, with all that explanation out of the way, I'm gonna do a very quick and easy build tutorial for all of you guys that are interested in replicating this here vault in your own Minecraft worlds. I like to make these go as quickly as possible, so I really do hope you stick around until the end. Enjoy. First, we're going to start by putting down these 2 polished deep slate, and then you're going to make a 13 block long length of polished basalt like this, and 1 more coming out from the other side, and repeat until you have an entire square made. You're then going to make this pattern right in the middle of one of the sides. You can see we got a full block here, 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 this area right here being the middle. You got an upside down stair in there, another full block in the back, and 2 more stairs on either side. Repeat that on all 4 edges. Now on the corners, it's going to be a little bit different. We've already got the 2 polished deep slate from before. We're going to put 2 upside down stairs poking outwards. This right here is going to become the front of the vault, so I'm going to have it poking out in this direction. So yeah, the 2 upside down stairs, 2 full blocks, stair, stair, full block, and you're going to repeat that here, here, and here. Of course, on the right edges is going to be mirrored. Now you we got a funky looking box going, and then on the midpoint between our edge piece and our corner piece, you're gonna put a full block here and here, a stair, and you're gonna do the same thing on all the other sections. Next up, from the 8 points on the edges and the corners, you're gonna build up 5 blocks with your polished basalt, like that, and continue all the way around. So now we're gonna fill in the inner walls before we keep doing any of the exterior decorations, just to get that down to like place blocks on top of and stuff. And you can see here, right, I'm using a very simple 2-color gradient. It's not even really much of a gradient because it's only 2 colors of the cyan terracotta and the light gray concrete. You of course can use whatever you want. These options are nice, but they're very, very gray. If it wasn't a vault, I'd say it's too much gray. So yeah, you guys really just pick whatever you want. All right, there's our inner wall, and you'll notice I've left a 3x3 area right behind me where the door is gonna go. We're gonna get to that right now. So in the original, I used a mixture of stone and the polished andesite. I think I'm gonna do the same thing over here just to make things easy, and I'm gonna do it all in polished andesite first, just so you guys get an idea of the shape, and then I can fill things in with the little bit of extra texture that the stone provides. So there we go, there's the general shape. It's really, really simple, really easy, just a 3x3, and then one more on each of the edges, and then you fill in the rough corners with the stairs. There we go, all textured and everything. I've also added a little bit of the gray concrete powder just underneath the door for a tiny bit of like faux shadow. I've put in our spinny door mechanism too, and don't forget we are using a dark oak button because the color matches really well with the hinges on the grindstone. Alright, next up we're going to be doing these like midsection reinforcements right here. You're going to need your walls of the polished deep slate variety and your regular polished deep slate, and go 1, 2, 3. Oop, not like that. 1, 2, 3. Fill in the corners with the walls, and you're going to keep doing that around all of these pillars. Once you got that in place, go ahead and put a chiseled polished black stone, very long name, in the middle here, and then you're going to fill in the arms and leg of the T with chains. Oh, and one more on the top, 2 blocks high, so it makes a plus. Same thing on every wall that doesn't already have a vault door splattered onto it. All right, now to do the top bits. Really, they're just the bottom bits, but like flipped vertically. So I'm gonna go through this really quick, right? Instead of having this pattern right here, we're gonna take the same thing and flip it on its head, looking something like that. Put our 2 stairs there, and then for the corner piece, it's gonna look something like this. Very symmetrical. Right, so just go ahead and fill in all the rest of these polished blackstone pieces on all the other corners, and then you'll be good to go. And if you haven't already, go ahead and put in the remaining pieces of basalt in the top too. Now for the ceiling. You can see I've kind of already started it here, but every time there is one of these polished, I forgot the word there for a second, polished deep slate blocks, you're gonna go ahead and place another one on the other side. And then you're gonna wanna continue this in, making like a plus shape, so you have one more there, and then you have like your little plus of slabs, and then 2 more full blocks on the other end. And you're gonna have one in each of these like 4 quadrants. Do 4 rows of 5 basalt each, like that, in these middle areas here where there's nothing yet. And then a little plus of the polished deep slate full blocks right in the middle. And to finish off the roof, around the edges here, you're gonna do a row of the polished deep slate slabs, just like that. And then for the 2x2 in the middle, you're gonna work around the walls here and indent them into the roof by a half a block. For these, you might need to go underneath and place a slab temporarily, just so you're able to access that lower height level. And of course, repeat for the other 3 sections. Oh, actually, JK, we're not done with the roof yet. I totally forgot something. On these bits right here, you're gonna wanna continue this roughly circular pattern like that. See how it kind of forms a circle with this basalt poking through the middle? Yeah, you're gonna wanna continue that all the way around on each of these. And the same thing on these 4 inner ones right here. You can kind of imagine the same wheel design in there. This one is just a lot more submerged into the roof, so you can only really see about half of it. And believe it or not, guys, I'm actually gonna be stopping things there. And I know, we have not done the inside yet. It definitely looks pretty unfinished, but I thought it would actually be kind of cool to leave this as like a building exercise for you guys. I want you guys, if you're up for it, to take this same design. I'll have a world download link in the description. Take this same vault design and decorate the inside however you want. Any sort of style you want to. Fill it with whatever kind of treasures or booby traps or weird contraptions you want to, and send it to me. A YouTube video would be preferred, but you could do like a world download as well if that's easier for you. I really want to see what you guys come up with. So with that being said, I think we are just about done with the video for today. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode of 3 Ways to Build. All the editing involved to make the vault actually move in the beginning of the video was really fun, so I especially hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, gamers, this has been Leon, and I will see you all in the next 3 Ways to Build video. Don't lose your diamonds.